All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to. We're 11 minutes after the hour, so uh, it was a long week, and last week was a long weekend, and I was just telling my brother I got a leg cramp late last night, and so that's never happened before. Those are kind of rough. Um, and uh, yeah, thoughts ran through my mind about maybe not going live this morning, but I'm gonna soldier on. Passport OG, I see you back there. You're connected. It's probably gonna be about a good half hour before I bring you up. Just okay. He's like, just keep going. Don't worry about me. All right. So we have a nice connection from uh, uh, Southeast Asia. Okay, so this morning we're going to talk about our Instagram and other social media altering our biology. Let me and Passport OG is here, so of course the people are going to come because people like Passport OG. You guys like him more than you like me, so uh, he's the goat. That's why I call him the goat. If you notice, under each one of Passport OG's videos, I say salute to the goat, and I'm going to come back to why. Let me just share this over on. Okay. Okay, let me do this quickly. All right, let's see. Lovely Trust is here. Trust, I think you're more popular than Marcus Allen because the picture I took with you got more likes than the picture I took with Marcus Allen. So you're way more popular than a Heisman Trophy winner and Super Bowl MVP. So, but I think you're a little easier on the eyes than Marcus Allen. Um, Corey McPherson, good morning. Doc, hope all is well. Tony, good morning, all. UFO Kamikaze, UFO Kamikaze, I see you in everybody's chats. So you definitely get around. Thank you for being here. Cynical Optimist, salute to Dr. Dunbar and the gentleman of the chat. And then there's a symbol there I can't see. And then Trust is laughing at my joke regarding her picture, my picture with her, and my picture with Marcus Allen. Okay, guys, I will see you on the other side of the updated intro, and then we're going to talk about our Instagram and other social media altering our biology. I think we kind of know the answer to this already, but it's something that I think, yeah, we need to continue to revisit. Immediately after the intro, we're going to do a little bit of a short little Black History piece in terms of scientists and inventors, my brothers backstage, and then I'll jump into the main event, as Dr. Thunder says. So I will see you guys on the other side. So I'm thinking about what you're saying, and I think this is the significance of when you say the technology is running so far out ahead of the biology, right? Because it's almost shattering that part of our natural um, programming.
So what's going on, what that really talks to is the reason why it's done that way is our systems operate on a seniority-based modality. So the older the particular system we've adopted, the more powerful that neurological pathway and impulse. That's why these studies are critical. Everything in our biology is predicated on these kinds of principles. The reasons why we were able to evolve as a group because there were certain things that we were able to lean on from the group aggregate existence that allows for us to do things as individuals that are defined as healthy. And when you begin to do wholesale swapping out on a one-for-one of social modality versus technological introduction, then you begin to atrophy a lot of these things and you start having deficiencies in ways you had no idea, or you get unintended emergent behavior, as we're seeing with the behavioral sinks, for example. It's all connected to social roles, in my subjective opinion.
Welcome to Big Discussions 76, Science and Technology. Science and technology stories are all around us, and there are always science and technology stories to tell. All right, everyone, welcome back. So that intro, that updated intro, that was me talking with the nameless protagonist about the mouse utopia experiments. Yeah, it's been commented here before. His voice is so smooth and it's so, he should almost do voice over acting. When I was looking at that stream yesterday, uh, you can't just host the nameless protagonist and moderate and zone out. You have to take notes as he's talking, because everything he says is so layered, and it's so he knows a lot. So you can't just host him and just kind of sit there and say, I'm sorry, what'd you say? No, you have to follow along with what he's saying, because he says a lot. All right, so we're going to talk about our Instagram and other social media altering our biology. Before I hop into that, I'm going to bring back my brother Amal. He has really launched into this AI usage, and he's dedicated some time to uh, creating offerings highlighting Black scientists and inventors. And I think that's important to do on this platform, as I am a scientist myself. And these individuals just throughout my lifetime, they don't get enough shine, in my opinion, relative to our politicians, clergymen, athletes, and entertainers and politicians. So with that, I'm going to bring up my brother Amal, and he's going to walk us through another notable Black inventor slash scientist. Good morning, bro.
Peace. Peace, family. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, good, bro. Good, bro. So, thanks for having me. And this morning, we're going to discuss if you can find my post on IG, bro, for Patricia Bath. She is an ophthalmologist. I didn't post too many images. Sometimes the AI can create some really good images with no mistakes, and there are times when the AI creates images that have mistakes in them. So if you can click the next slide, bro. Um, yeah, see that one came out good. Okay, so big discussions, 76 family. We're going to discuss Dr. Patricia Bath. She was born in 1942. She transitioned in 2019. She was a pioneering ophthalmologist, inventor, and advocate for blindness prevention. She was born in Harlem. Shout out to Harlem. She earned her Bachelor's of Science at Hunter College and her master's degree at Howard. She was the first African American woman to complete an ophthalmology residency. In 1981, Dr. Bath co founded the American Institute for the Prevention of Blindness, and in 1986, she patented the laser phaco probe. Next slide, bro. Uh, the laser phaco probe is the first device to use laser technology to re- remove cataracts, restoring sight for, I'm sorry, restoring sight more safely and precisely than traditional methods. Throughout her career, Dr. Bath had faculty positions at UCLA and the University of California at San Francisco, and she received numerous awards for her contributions to medicine and patient care. Uh, Her work not only transformed cataract surgery, but opened up many doors for women and POCs in the surgical sciences.
Is that all of her bio? I was just going to ask you to just speak up just a little bit higher.
Um, that's what I've got so far, bro. Her most notable invention is for the laser phaco probe, which transformed the industry in terms of cataract surgery. So she definitely helped the field of ophthalmology take a huge quantum leap forward. When it comes to cataract surgery.
And can you tell us what this device is here again?
Well, if I had to guess, I would guess that that is not the laser phaco probe. That looks more like the device that ophthalmologists used to measure your vision when you go to have your eyes checked. I'm not sure what that device specifically is in that photo, um, but I have a feeling that's not Dr. Bath's laser phaco probe.
Okay, so she just to recap, she created a key technology. UFO Kamikaze said LASIK surgery there in the chat.
Okay. Okay, guys, I am not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I've just been highlighting African American inventors. Um, so, please forgive me for not being completely on point here.
No. That's okay. I was just trying to highlight. So her invention, her key invention was the laser phaco probe, a device. Okay, that revolutionized cataract surgery.
Yes, sir.
Okay, bro. Is there anything else you want to say about is it Dr. Bath?
Um, that's all I've got, bro. Yeah, I mean, without her, someone at some point would have figured out that technology, but she was the first to do it. And as with most of the inventions that I speak on your platform, um, you know, that technology and that IP is used worldwide. So at some point, someone would have thought of it, but she was the first.
And I know that you've done a great job creating AI images. Is that her right there?
Yes, yes, that is her.
Okay. The reason I think that's important to know for everybody is I've never seen this person before. As I said, I think uh, yeah, we especially in our community, we do a good job highlighting our politicians, clergymen, athletes, and entertainers, and now social media influencers and content creators. But a lot of these people, nobody knows who these people are.
Yes, and then also, um, not only did she innovate uh, cataract removal surgery, but think about all the jobs that were created to create and manufacture these devices that can handle that process. So um, she created a small industry. You know, there are people in factories who are creating these devices, putting them together, and having them shipped to hospitals and medical centers. So not only did she innovate cataract surgery with lasers, but she helped to create jobs not just in this country but around the world.
Okay, yeah, that's often the case when someone creates a new technology or invention. Usually, usually whole industries and sectors emerge from that one idea slash invention. Bro, do you have anything else you want to share with us while you're here before you go?
Um, that's it for now, brother. I appreciate you for having having me on, and we will do this again next Saturday.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, bro. Take care. Peace.
You too, bro. All right, so that was Dr. Patricia Bath. So now we all know who that is. All right, so let's get on with the main event, and I guess this, you know, maybe this what I have to say will be the undercard, and then with Passport OG, his videos and his commentary, maybe that'll be the main event. But the main topic, we can say the main topic. So our Instagram and social media altering our biology, and I think we know that the answer. Uh, well, let's see, has mainstream society have they caught on to the fact that the mainstream media, mainstream society, have they caught on to the fact that it's altering our biology? Biology is the study of life. That's what my general bachelor's degree is in, and that encompasses a lot of things. There's cell biology. There's reproductive biology. Ecology fits under that umbrella. Botany fits under that umbrella. Zoology fits under that umbrella. There are so many things that fit under that one umbrella of biology, and there are so many offshoots from it. So my general bachelor's degree is in from JCSU, Johnson C. Smith University. Shout out to Marcus Williams. You never mention Johnson C. Smith University in your content, only Michigan. But my initial trainings at the collegiate level were at Johnson C. Smith University. There, I took cell biology and botany and zoology and ecology. And then when you start thinking about translational science and application, that's when you start to branch out into pharmacology, which is what I specialized in at the University of Michigan, in toxicology and bioinformatics and uh, uh, virology and immunology, and it starts to branch off into all these other research disciplines. But some key areas under that umbrella are zoology, and there's an aspect of behavioral biology as it relates to zoology, because you're talking about how species exist. You're talking about how species reproduce. You're talking about how genders for sexual species, because there are asexual organisms and there are sexual organisms. So you're at some point you're talking about how sexual organisms pair bond and reproduce, and why they do and why they don't. And I think that's in part why for this live stream I chose the background of a peacock. Hold on one second. The peacock. I think the way that works is that the male peacock, that's a beautiful creature. The male peacock shows his feathers, his beautiful feathers, and that attracts the female peacocks. I think that's the way that works. If any of you all know there in the chat better than I do, then let me know. But I think that's the case. And then yeah, UFO Kamikaze, that's the NBC. That's been their mascot for at least 30 years. And then for primates, I believe that female, okay, so evolution and our that's not my specialty, but I believe that female, is it baboons or orangutans? I think their breasts change color when they're ready to do the dance with some of the males. And then in other biological species, the males, you form hierarchies. Me and the nameless protagonist, we talked about this. You form hierarchies, and the males often fight and battle for access to the females. So there are all these dynamics in biology, okay, and in reproductive biology, particularly as it relates to sexual species. But what happens when you introduce technology to that? What happens when you become a highly advanced technological society? And technology not only involves this computer that I'm doing this stream on or this smartphone. Technology is also the pill. It's also the pill. It's also birth control. That is a technology. And so what happens, I did a stream on Margaret Sanger. You guys remember that. If you want to watch it, you can go back and look. But what happens when you start introducing things like birth control? Okay, there are a lot of unintended consequences for introducing something like hormonal birth control. I've talked about that here. Well, let's focus on the digital aspects. So many of you all know that I've been reading this book here, The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt. And one of the things that drew me to this book, this is not just how would I classify this book? This book is about technology. This book is about biology. It's about reproductive biology. It's also about culture, okay, and how all of these things are coming together, and how all of these things coming together have impacted the overall health of our species, particularly young people, starting around 2010. So what I want to do, and what drew me to this book, is that when I heard Mr. Haidt talk on YouTube, there are numerous videos of him. I'm going to show him right here in case any of you guys want to watch some of his talks. He was very outspoken about boys and girls being different. Boys and girls being different. Boys and girls being different. Oh my God, that was a little bit of Umar Johnson there, a little bit of King Kong consciousness. I did it 3 times. He was very outspoken about boys and girls being different. And in this modern era, one of the things we've seen is a homogenization of genders. Okay, so we're definitely in a bit of a societal, cultural, gender civil war type thing right now. Is there one gender? Is there 2 genders? Are boys and girls the same? Are men and women the same? Can they do all the same things? What is a man? What is a woman? Thank you for asking, Lene Vinay. What is a woman who can have a child?
Oh, okay.
Only women can have babies. I just want to let you know that.
Interesting. There are other people who can have babies.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if they have a uterus, they can have babies, but they just might not identify as women. Those
Okay.
are 2 different things. Like you can be biologically female, but you can't be biologically woman. This woman is a gender construct, a social construct. So if you got a uterus, yeah, you can have a baby.
Yes, that's the point. If you have a uterus, you can have a baby.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we agree on that.
If you have a uterus, you can have the baby. Shout out to Lene Vinay and Revolt and the Breakfast Club. So really, really quickly, Jonathan Haidt. This is Jonathan Haidt. I don't know if any of you all are familiar with him. Please smash that like button if you haven't. Please consider subscribing to the channel if you are not. This is the gentleman who wrote the book. I wouldn't mind talking to him one day. That's him, and his bio reads, I am a social psychologist at New York University's Stern School of Business. My name is pronounced Height. My mission is to use research on moral psychology. Okay, so what I'm going to do, we're going to do just a little bit of story time. Just a little bit of story time, guys and gals. And I picked out a couple of passages that I'm going to read, and then we're gonna look at Passport OG's offerings. So I flagged page 35 here. Please bear with me. This is now the whole premise of this book is that around 2010, 2012, with the coming of the internet and the smartphone, the Gen Z and those coming after them started experiencing a phone-based childhood versus a play-based childhood, and mental illness and anxiety and depression. All those things took off right around 2010, 2012. Though he does, shout out to Richard Reeves, he does make the argument that the decline for boys did start happening well before 2010 and 2012. But I want to focus on this. All right, this is chapter 1, the surge of suffering. Okay. An important detail in this story is that the iPhone was introduced in June 2010. It was the first iPhone with a front-facing camera. So this is an Android. Okay, so he's arguing that the creation of these smartphones with a front-facing camera was a real game changer. It was the first iPhone with a front-facing camera, which made it easier to take photos and videos of one's self. Samsung offered one on its Galaxy S the same month. That same year, Instagram was created. That same year, Instagram was created as an app that could be used only on smartphones. For the first few years, there was no way to use it on a desktop or laptop. Instagram had a small user base until 2012, when it was purchased by Facebook. Its user base then grew rapidly. We might therefore say that the smartphone and the selfie-based social media ecosystem that we know today emerged in 2012, with Facebook's purchase of Instagram following the introduction of the front-facing camera. By 2012, many teen girls would have felt that everyone was getting a smartphone and an Instagram account, and everyone was comparing themselves to everyone else. Okay, I assert that it was not just young girls, okay, because you look around today, well, it's not just young girls comparing themselves to everyone else and taking selfies. Over the next few years, the social media ecosystem became even more enticing with the introduction of ever more powerful filters and editing software within Instagram, and by external apps such as Facetune. I've never heard of Facetune. Have you guys ever heard of Facetune? Whether she used filters or not, the reflection each girl saw in the mirror got less and less attractive relative to the girls she saw on her phone. Okay, so that's from chapter 1. I'm going to jump ahead. I'm not going to belabor this. We're at 30 minutes, but I think this is a nice setup because I'm looking at this from what has the technology done to our species? And he argues in this book, which is another reason I was drawn to it, that the social media, the technology has affected girls more than boys, and they use the social media more than boys do, the girls do. But I also assert that it's not just girls, it's grown women as well. Okay, page 153. AB Media, the political pundit of the Black Manosphere, says, "Yep, I was well trained in Photoshop long before Instagram came along. I don't even consider Instagram models an option." Yeah, that's the thing. That this Instagram model, well, it wasn't a thing before Instagram. Okay, so that's a relatively new phenomenon. Okay, before we get to this section, girls are more affected by visual social comparison and perfectionism. I thought this was interesting too. This is called agency and communion. This is in the chapter why social media harms girls more than boys. And do you guys think, okay, I think Passport OG is he's demonstrated this in his videos, but does social media also harm adults, and are adults harming themselves by using this stuff? So this one says agency and communion. Girls and boys are similar psychologically in most ways. An introductory psychology textbook needs only occasional notes about gender differences, but there are a few gender differences that show up widely across cultures and eras. One that is useful for understanding media effects is the distinction between agency and communion, which refer to two sets of motivations or goals found in nearly everyone. One recent review defined them in this way: agency arises from striving to individuate and expand the self and involves qualities such as efficiency, competence, and assertiveness. Communion arises from striving to integrate the self in a larger social unit through caring for others and involves qualities such as benevolence, cooperativeness, and empathy. The two motives are woven together in changing patterns across the life course. And that weaving is particularly important for adolescents who are developing their identities. Part of defining the self comes from successfully integrating into groups. Part of being attractive to groups is demonstrating one's value as an individual with unique skills. Researchers have long found that boys and men are more focused on agency, striving, while girls and women are more focused on communion strivings. The fact that these gender differences have decreased over time tells us that they result in part from cultural factors and forces. Okay, I'm going to stop that there. There's a difference there. Yigami, thank you for stopping through. Please smash that like button if you have not. Okay. This last section, I promise, then we're going to get on to Passport OG's offering. This next section is called 4 Reasons Why Girls Are Particularly Vulnerable. Okay. And I'm going to read reason number 1. Girls are more affected by visual, social comparison, and perfectionism. I think this is a good time to show this. I was going to project this on the screen, but the functionality of Instagram is different on the PC than it is on the smartphone. So when you go, do any of you guys have Instagram on your smartphone? Do any of you guys have Instagram on your smartphone? Yes or no? Let me know. But when you go to the search bar, for Instagram on your Android, you see, look at what you see there. You see a sea of beautiful images. Now, I don't know if this is the majority of what's on Instagram. I don't know if the algorithm is sending me all these beautiful pictures, but these are mostly women. Okay, you see a few men, but these are mostly women of all ages, all very beautiful. Uh, all all the pictures are finely manicured and filtered and edited, and there's just a sea of this: videos, pictures, bathing suits, fitted jeans, all of it. I don't spend a lot of time on here, but it's easy as a man if you're not careful. All these images will make you can make you try to shoot, and then I could see I can imagine other women looking at these, wanting to do this, but also comparing themselves to the images, the vast ocean of images here. So humor me just a little bit longer. Okay. Girls are more affected by visual social comparison and perfectionism. The 2021 song Jealousy, Jealousy by Olivia Rodrigo sums up what it's like for many girls to scroll through social media today. The song begins, I kind of want to throw my phone across the room because all I see are girls too good to be true. Rodrigo then says that co comparison with the perfect bodies and paper white teeth of girls she doesn't know is slowly killing her. It's a powerful song. I hope you listen to it. Psychologists have long studied social comparison and its pervasive effects. The social psychologist Susan Fiske says that humans are comparison machines. Mark Leary, another social psychologist, describes the machinery in more detail. It's as if we all have a sociometer in our brain, a gauge that runs from 0 to 100, telling us where we stand in local prestige rankings moment by moment. When the needle drops, it triggers an alarm anxiety that motivates us to change our behavior and get the needle back up. Um, oh boy, my backstage is filling up with presentations here. All right. I'm going to read this one. I'm going to jump down and we're going to look at something. Okay. Teens are particularly vulnerable to insecurity because their bodies and their social lives are changing so rapidly as they leave childhood. They struggle to figure out where they fit in the new prestige order for their sex. Nearly all adolescents care how they look, especially as they begin to develop romantic interests. All know that they will be chosen or passed over based in part on their appearance. Okay, that continues into adulthood. But for adolescent girls, the stakes are higher because girls' social standing is usually more closely tied to her beauty and sex appeal than is the case for boys. Compared with boys, when girls go onto social media, they are subjected to more severe and constant judgments about their looks and their bodies, and they're confronted with beauty standards that are further out of reach. I'm going to jump down here. You can see the power of filters and tuning apps in figure 6.4, in which Instagram influencer Josephine Livin demonstrates how easy it is to essentially turn a dial and morph oneself into an ever more unrealistic Instagram beauty. I'm going to show this, then we'll jump to, I'll probably bring Passport OG up and we'll look at one of his videos. So I'm going to show this figure right here. And this is something that the technology has enabled. Now, I know my mother, I see this and say, why are you showing us this picture of this white girl? But this is not just this white girl. This is across the board. So let me just pull the image up, guys. Okay, this is from the book. this is an example of filtering one's image. I don't know. I don't know. I imagine models do this. I imagine, in magazines they do this, but I don't know if your average men or boys do this. But this is something that we've known that ladies have been doing for a while here. So you see right there on the lower left-hand corner, that's her. That's what she really looks like, this particular young lady. Okay. But you can also see what she looks like when she's altered her image. Okay. In the top right corner there, she looks just like Angelina Jolie. At least to me, she reminds me of Angelina Jolie. Okay, right there in that top right corner. The other two are variations of that, but those look nothing like the real girl there at the bottom. Okay. So this is significant because this allows altering, enhancing, and covering up what you really look like. And I imagine there are instances where people see when men see women online, and then they see the real person, and they look different. Okay, but also those enhancements point to the fact that the people doing the enhancing don't like what they really look like. Okay, so these are examples of the technology altering self-image, self-esteem, and also image to the outside world. Okay, and also probably valuing one's self. All right. Yeah, Cynical Optimist says covering imperfections. Passport OG, I'm gonna bring you up right now. It looks like I have some things in my backstage there, and I think the other the folks wanna hear from what's from you across the ocean. So I'll bring you up. You could tell me what you shared back there, and we'll take a look at one of your videos. Come on.
All right. What's going on? Mic check. Can you hear me, Doc?
All good.
So these are actually 3 quotes that I just did a quick Google search, and I wanted to get your take on them. So that's why I uploaded them.
Okay.
So the white one is the first one, right?
Yeah.
Designing a fire hose of addictive content that entered through kids' eyes and ears, and by displacing physical play and in-person socializing. These companies have rewired childhood and changed human development at almost unimaginable scale. You read that in the book, I assume.
He's reiterated that point so many times in the book that
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
And I think one of the parts that I just read, Zuckerberg. There's another gentleman I'm not as familiar with. They knew that this would cause some chaos. They didn't really know what exactly these things would do, but they also understood there's a dopamine loop.
Yep.
That's well documented, where you hook the user and you get them to stay in. Okay, so they knew a lot. They knew a lot of these things. They knew a lot of these things, how these things worked, and they knew what these things would do. So this isn't all by accident.
That's right.
Okay. The second one, Toya says, that's Yagami. Toya says, thanks for providing the soundtrack to my workout today, doctor. Oh, Toya, thank you for considering me and us as your soundtrack. This one says, just as the immune system must be exposed to germs in trees. Yep. Let me start that over. Just as the immune system must be exposed to germs and trees must be exposed to the wind, children require exposure to setbacks, failures, shocks, and stumbles in order to develop strength and self-reliance. Yep, that he hammers home that point in the book as well. And at some point, he argues that parents became too protective of children, and you are supposed to fall and scratch your elbow. You are supposed to scrape your leg and break your forearm. You're supposed to do those things. You're supposed to experiment as a child.
Well, it's the only way to build resilience. You don't build it otherwise. I mean, if your whole life goes according to plan, when a little part of it doesn't go according to plan, then you become a whiny brat, right?
Yeah. And then when you get to the universities, that's where you start shouting down speakers, shouting down professors, having mental health crises when someone says something that you don't like or you disagree with or you haven't been exposed to. That's where this fragility comes from. Okay. And this one says, we have overprotected children in the real world and underprotected them in the virtual world. Okay. All right. Thank you for those, Passport OG. So everybody, that's Jonathan Haidt. If you want to, he's all over YouTube as well. He's spoken about this and other things. Go ahead.
No, it looks like a good book.
Yeah. Well, I got to finish this one because I just got Dr. Ronald Neal's book yesterday, so I want to read that. So, Passport OG, I don't want to keep everybody here all day. I mean, we could sit and watch your videos all day, but I'm going to play the Kevin Arnold one, and that one, that one I thought about that. That one stood out to me because you make the point that it's a different world than the one our fathers and our grandfathers
totally
grew up in. And I've personally wondered. So my mother has 7 brothers and sisters. I'll just be discreet there. And her mother was trained to take care of the home, and she took that seriously. She cooked. She took them shopping for school clothes. She did all those things. And then when she had grandchildren, she did stuff for the grandchildren. And I've wondered if my grandmother had come of age today, would we all be here? Would it all have followed the same trajectory? Mm-mm. I would say no.
No.
And I wondered, no shade at my father. I wondered if my father had come of age today, if he would have gotten married, if he would have been able to have gotten married. I don't know that he would have.
Well, I think, and I honestly think that social media should have been regulated very heavily before it came out, because I can tell you, being in motorcycles, I can tell you that the way they do it in East Asia is they just have very strong either social holds or actual like regulation holds over the kind of content that you can see. So you could, they don't really have strong regulation government wise, but there's just a stigma of just sitting a tablet in front of your kid, right? Or better yet, schools here are phone free. They're phone free completely all the way through high school. Like, you're not going to be flipping through Instagram or TikTok on school premises or at a school function, right? So kids have to get used to 7, 8, 9 hours a day. They're not going to have a phone in their hand. And if you don't allow that, then kids just, anytime they get a little buzz in their pocket, they're stopping their studying to check Instagram. And that's just not going anywhere good. It's not going anywhere good.
Okay. Trust, thank you for the generous Cash App. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, so we're gonna do our little own version of Mystery Science Theater 3000 here, and we're gonna watch.
Oh goodness! I wonder how many people in the chat get that reference.
I know, right? And you know what? I've always when we had cable back in Buffalo, I'd scroll the channels and I'd see these little 3 silhouettes sitting and watching. I never really stopped and watched what they were doing, but I remember it. Yeah. Okay. It looks like Cynical Optimist remembers it too. And you know what, Passport OG, in your most recent video, you made another extra point. Speaking of which, about Whoopi Goldberg and whether in terms of how out of touch some of those
way out of touch
rumors are with what's going on. What's the manosphere? What's that? What's that? So that was a really excellent point, which I might revisit in a separate offering. So Passport OG, he makes these finally these well
Kevin Arnold.
These high quality videos with pop culture references going back to the 80s when we were young and coming of age. And the basis for this one is The Wonder Years. This is one of my favorite shows. But there are also some other things sprinkled in, and we're going to go through this, and we're going to talk about the topic as it relates to this. And Passport OG, obviously, you're the director and producer, so if you have things you want to say about this,
yeah,
feel free.
You got it, Doc.
All right, here we go. What made Kevin and Winnie so special?
Happy New Year, Kevin.
Happy New Year.
What I remember most is how it ended.
So, butthead, you gonna kiss her or not? Come on, you're only young once.
If you were a young boy during the late 1980s, you were familiar with the adolescent journey of one Kevin Arnold, an average guy who fell head over heels for Winnie Cooper, the quintessential girl next door, kind, friendly, humble, the dream girl we wanted to carry the books for at school that could see the great guy in the average guy. During the course of the show, they fell in and out of love with each other, but The Wonder Years, as idealistic a show as it was, seemed to understand one thing. Winnie was really out of Kevin's quote-unquote league. Looking back on it with 2025 eyes, we can all see now what we didn't see then and what would be today's reality if the two met in 2025.
I'm going to pause right there. You know what, Passport OG, one thing I was thinking looking at that is in that era, first, you got to know the kids on your block, and then you got to know the kids at your schools. And that was pretty much it. So you went away to college, or unless you went to some sort of summer camp, or you went to visit your family in another state, but there was no, there was no Instagram. So you couldn't see people in other parts of the country and other parts of the world, but they couldn't see and push up on you.
Mean, the best you could do is maybe guess their first and last name and their address and look it up in the white pages, and maybe cold call them if you were brave enough to do that. I mean, but outside of like maybe your church and your neighborhood and your school, that was your world.
That was your world. All right.
Now imagine she
got an iPhone and Instagram.
A guy had got a coaching call with me probably about a month ago. And he was breaking down to me how he had went over there and he was sending her back money because I was going to be his girl and stuff. Listen, simps and tricks is simps and tricks, whether you got a passport or no. I am not in favor of locking down somebody that you don't have access to and you don't have control of in real life, in real time. Hell no. Hell no. Like, you just got to let it be for the moment. She yours at that particular time, and it's just your turn. I am not in favor of no long distance relationship, just in a general sense.
Hey, if you live in one of these cities right here, why don't you own an apartment building? Seriously, let me show you a path that
at all.
So for the uninitiated, this is kind of delving into the passport and travel piece. I believe he's talking about sending money to acquaintances overseas. So even back in the 80s, probably except for very, very rich men, this whole passport traveling thing, or the need to do so, this wasn't a thing back then either.
No.
Except for your very, very affluent.
Maybe the, what do you call it, the import wives or whatever, but it was extremely rare, very rare.
All right.
It's not what you think. I never thought this could happen to me.
Of course, salute to BMT Live and to Anton Daniels for the conversation they had. I heard the word simp and trick in the conversation, and I guess I was not necessarily triggered as much as I found it interesting that in this modern age of dating, usage of those kinds of terms are actually harkening back to a time where the dating game had different rules. these days to be called a trick or a simp doesn't really have the same weight because, simply put, we're not dealing with a Winnie that has Instagram 25, 30 years ago. But today she does with an iPhone. Today she wouldn't even look at Kevin Arnold. She wouldn't even allow him to know her Instagram.
Believe me, nothing's happened. Yes, it has.
What's the point? How you gonna lock down somebody that ain't even with you? You don't know nothing about them. You don't know what they got going on. Hell no. Mm-mm.
Because you do have like guys within this community that pretty much send money to the women, or they pay the women's rents or something like that. Nope. They consider it to be their girlfriend.
Nope. Why they paying somebody else's rent? She not an adult.
Kevin, I've met someone.
Right.
Listen.
Now keep in mind these rents might be $200-$300.
I don't care. You can't get $20 out of me unless you bring a value back to me.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't no woman that ever got $1 out of me unless she actually working or she bringing value back to me. I don't give a listen.
Can I make a comment
how little
here
it
right
is.
quick?
Tricking and simping is still tricking and simping.
So what Anton Daniels is doing here is talking about the way that it should be, right? The way that, like, when you watch the television shows or the rap lyrics or even just other guys in the space, the way it's supposed to be is I don't spend any money on chicks. I just get it out of chicks on, on my masculinity or whatever. But that worked when she knew 15 guys and you were one of the 15 guys she was thinking about dating. But she knows thousands of guys now. Like, there's no guy that can replicate that so long that she forgets about all those guys in her phone or the dating app. So idealistically, he's right. Like, I would never pay for money for a chick and blah blah blah. I'm that dude. But if she's got Instagram on her phone and you just told her, no, you can't go out with your friends tonight, and then there's some dude who's like, how could a man tell you can't go out? He must not be insured in his whatever. Let me cash app you something, baby, because I know, like, that's what's happening now. So how do you play the game with those rules? And we're still figuring that out because the game is 10 years old max, 10, 12 years old. I mean, how do you do that when you tell your woman, I don't want you to wear that skimpy outfit out with your friends. You're not going out tonight. And then she gets on with her friends and her friends are saying, well, he doesn't believe in you. He's a toxic masculinity or toxic masculinist and all of that stuff. It's just a matter of time. So idealistically, he's right, but it just doesn't work for the majority of people in this environment, especially if she went to college and got some education that told her that men are oppressive and all that kind of stuff. It's just not going to work. So it sounds great. And idealistically, yes. But in the real world today, I don't know how well that works.
Yeah, I was thinking of two things when you said that, and thank you for giving that perspective on your video. Of one thing was what the nameless protagonist talked about was the technology outpacing the biology.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Right now, there's no natural check on that. And then number two, I thought about the late Kevin Samuels. I know that's a bad word for some people. But one of the things he talked about was any woman he dated, she had to get rid of her social media. When he said that, I kind of thought about it and I said, wow, get rid of their social media. Now I'm starting to understand. I don't know how how you would enforce that, but that was something he openly said when he was doing his broadcasts.
Regardless of how it is that you see it.
Can I see her?
I am not in favor of paying for nobody's lifestyle. Hell no.
So you don't believe in giving women like allowance?
Hell no. But see, that's what I'm saying. Hell no. Absolutely not, under no circumstances. For what? I'm with you for a short time, not a long time. I'll see you when I see you.
Hello, Calvin. Mrs. Cooper, may I talk to her?
Okay.
I wouldn't do it for women here. I wouldn't do it for women over.
So let me ask you this. What's your define the definition of tricking? What's your definition of tricking?
Spending money on women that you don't have to, or in order to impress women unnecessarily.
Maybe that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of the model, the mating model today. Men are expected to.
You're expected to spend something.
Do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Passport OG, I was looking at this Wonder Years clip here. This was another thing. There was no, you couldn't text or contact your young love interest independently. You had to go to the door, and the parents could say, "No, you should go home.
Say, no, you can't see her." No, that's right. That's exactly right. Or maybe if you're lucky, you could call on the phone, and if the parents say you're not allowed to talk to him right now, the best you could do is answer the phone and say, "It's nice to talk to you, but my parents say I can't talk to you right now. I'm sorry, I gotta go." If she's allowed to answer the phone, right?
Yeah.
But now they can sneak their phone in their bedroom and text on Instagram when they're supposed to be asleep. So
yeah,
it's a different ball game.
Yeah, which Haidt also talks about in his book, sleep deprivation, because they're up all night doing who knows what.
Cynical optimist. He made a really good point talking about writing letters. Gosh, I know you've done this, Doc. I know that you've written a letter to a young lady, and you sprayed your perfume on it, or you put a mixtape on it in there, and you send it to her and say, "I want you to listen to these songs and think of me while I can't meet you." Yeah. That's our generation. We've done that, and they say that absence makes the heart grow fonder. I think one of the things that's happened now is there is no absence. There's constant presence, or the idea of presence. So there's nothing to miss. She's always there, right?
Yeah. But even back in the 80s and 90s, kids who had multiple options, or college students who had multiple options, see absence. I don't know, because they always had options. Anyway, let's keep going.
You should go home now.
What? Winnie doesn't want to see you right now.
You telling me that dudes is out here sending money to women overseas and they not even with them? What are these women doing that's so extraordinary that requires so much time? I don't understand. So y'all sending money over here to these.
As someone who's spent a lot of time overseas, living in a culture that's very different from the one I am used to, I can certainly say that it is not fair to ourselves to try to make life simpler than it is. Life is very complex, and the processes in our life, marriage, growing up, raising kids, it's also complex. And so to try and solve a complex problem with a simple solution is not fair to the complexity of the problem. That said, if I ever had a chance to speak with Anton, I would simply say that I also
once thought as you do.
Kevin.
Brilliant Darth Vader drop there. Brilliant. Your timing is impeccable. This particular commentary stood out to me in terms of how complex things are now. I think
yes.
I don't know, being in Japan, I don't know how often you're around your own elders from the boomer generation, but yeah, it's almost like going back to Whoopi Goldberg. They don't know the complexity of what's going on, and I don't think they appreciated how things started diverging and changing even in the 90s. And I don't think they understood it then.
No, they don't.
I appreciated that commentary.
I'm sorry.
Men control access to marriage. It's my rules. I'm not bending my rules for anybody, especially a woman.
Okay.
If your family don't think that it's conducive for you to rock out with me, cool. It's 9 billion people on this earth. I can find another you. You will never find another me. Listen, I will never pedestalize a woman above what my standards are, as a man. I don't give about what y'all culture is. I'm an American. I'm Anton Daniels. I define my culture based off of the principles that my father put in me.
The best, most enduring lesson that I've learned in my time, not only as an adult but overseas, is learning to live the life that's actually in front of you. Accept life for what it actually is, as opposed to lamenting or hoping that it's something that is ideal, because life is not ideal. And if you want life to be a way that it's not, then you're going to spend a lot of time being extremely frustrated over just looking at life, being observant and understanding. The life that I'm living now is very different from the life that my father and my grandfather is living. My grandfather, my father were able to meet young ladies in high school, maybe even early college, and they knew that they were going to be together for life. But those women also didn't have Instagram in their pocket, where they're seeing all of the places they can go. They'll simply send a message reply saying, sure, I'll take your ticket if you email me the confirmation code. The game has changed. And I would imagine if many of us had married our own version of Winnie Cooper in high school, even in 2025, we probably sound a lot like.
Procrastination isn't your fault. It's a
this.
Kevin, are you guys okay? It's almost midnight.
Say this for my girlfriend. She had timing.
So where you might see it as tricking, they see it as being a provider.
I don't care what they see. Only thing that matters is what I think.
Right, but what's the solution though? What would be the solution if they just what's the solution for the men in the West then?
It depends on what your objectives are. If your objective is to build a family, have a children within wedlock, making sure that your children ultimately is raised in the best environment and stuff like that, then I think that you should get married to the chick that you're shooting in the gym with. If you are building with a woman, I'm not talking about already being at the finish line. If you are building together because you ain't got nothing, you ain't got to worry about nothing, and you got somebody that got your best interest, which is one of the reasons why you want to be equally yoked, I can leverage that, right? If I'm looking at it from a traditional sense of how it is that I am the man in the household, she is a help me. Even the sex is just extra. I don't care about that. Sex come with it. You can get sex anytime. But as far as building wealth and preserving wealth, if you already got it, even people that had resources traditionally, only people that had resources. When you see these people out here talking about, oh man, you know what I'm saying, men marry down or men date down, that's because you're stupid. If you got a significant amount of resources, you always align yourself with somebody that got just as much to lose as you, so that you don't get took. But we the only people that decide that you can fuck a chick at McDonald's just because she got a fat ass. No. Marriage ultimately for people that had resources was to preserve wealth and make sure that you raise kids in a conducive environment, or to give a person that don't have any resources a leg up and an opportunity for them to be able to build together, because two people, if they look at it the right way, can pull 10 times their weight versus one person pulling double your weight. Now, that don't mean that you can't get it by yourself, but ultimately, if you know how to leverage, marriage is a business first. And if you know how to leverage the person that you're with, then ultimately it can become beneficial for both of y'all, because she becomes the beneficiary of your greatness, right?
Salute to BMT.
So disclaimer there for the uninitiated, shout out to Michelle Obama. Anton's lack of empathy there does not reflect a lack of empathy of the host. All right. We believe in masculinity with empathy here.
Hey, listen, I heard Coach Greg Adams said this in on his videos, and it cracks me up to this day. He said, masculine frame does not hold in family court. It does not. You can have all the masculine frame you want. When that judge slams that gavel, you got to pay what that judge told you to pay. It doesn't work that way. So.
Yeah. A couple things from Anton's commentary. Number one, few people got those lessons about marriage, young, and also, no one was in high school where I come from. Nobody was thinking about getting married in high school. Okay, so that I know in my family that was, my dad said after 27. So nobody was thinking about that. That I remember. Okay, I'm going to read something interesting from UFO Kamikaze here. this relates to the technology. He says, I don't text women I'm dating, phone calls only. And also posting anything about our relationship online is an instant deal breaker. I make it clear upfront, take it or leave it. Now there's a real pickle there, because there is the desire. I don't know if you're still on Facebook, Passport OG. I still use it. I still hang on for business purposes, but there is the need to post your partner, say that I'm in a relationship. This is what we're doing. This is the trip we just took. We're together now, and then, which I guess has its benefits. You let other people know, okay, I'm taken. But also, I always struggled with, okay, well, if we split, now we got to tell everybody we split, or then people are going to come asking, well, where's so and so? So it's a door that swings both ways. Now this thing about texting, yeah, I think for a couple, that's not always the best way to communicate.
No,
and even just meeting
absolutely
someone,
not.
Even just meeting someone, if you don't get to talk to them, then that's not necessarily a good thing. And you do see that today. I met an acquaintance, shout out to my dad, a couple of months ago. And I attempted to call, and she texted me back. One of the things she said was, who still talks on the phone today anyway?
Nah.
It's like, well,
done with that. Look, man, if you can't talk on the phone, you can't talk in the same room. I mean, what I'll be careful the way I say this, but I can't imagine, especially if it's someone that you care about, being in a situation that's more unfulfilling than after you engage in the physical act. You just don't have anything to talk about. Like if many of the young women on the internet said you shouldn't want to be with this 18-year-old whatever because you're not going to have anything to talk about after you guys finish, you can't relate, they might have an argument, as opposed to just saying, oh, you're scaby or whatever, and you should just date someone your own age. But that's making the assumption that women our own age can have a conversation with us after it's all over. Like, the idea of, I mean, we'll get to this after the video is over, but I think the modernity of, the pill and whatever, it's made things such a way that you can't really appreciate what makes you close with someone. It's more than just the physical act. It's the idea of that person, the idea of you guys having something special. And I think once you remove the veil of that, then a lot of guys just lose interest because it's not worth what it seems like it used to be worth, right?
Passport OG, give me a second. I need to make a quick.
Good.
Okay, hold on.
Well, I guess I'm here, so I will read. Trust says, LOL, hard pass. Trust is if we can't converse, oh my gosh, if you can't converse, we can't traverse. I mean, gosh, communication, man. I don't know how many of you guys in the chat are around people that are in their teens, but it's even here, the kids have a lot of difficulty just communicating on a regular basis. But so I can imagine what's happening in the States. I mean, you probably have kids who can't complete proper sentences. I feel that X, Y, and Z because X, Y, and Z, whatever. I mean, do they talk the way they text? I just can't imagine how unfortunate that would be. And imagine just being with someone that's extremely attractive and they can't talk to you. That just seems like a nightmare. I mean, the idea that you're married or you're dating someone or you have a child with someone and you can't have a conversation properly with them. Oh gosh, it seems like a nightmare. Let's see. Let's see if there are any topics. Any other comments? UFO Kamikaze says, I refuse to play the game. Okay, he's back.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Yeah, that comment about who even still talks on the phone anymore anyway. That was significant. Once you think you've heard it all, you haven't heard anything yet. Yeah, it's funny.
We used to put the Walkman up to the phone and play the song that made us think of that person, and like and like let them hear like New Edition or Boyz II Men or whatever, and just talk for 20 minutes, right? And that's we don't have anything close to that anymore.
No. Just about at the end of this one, I want to play a little bit of the next one because I think it's showing how this social media is also becoming a bit of a confessional, like on the old Real World.
Oh gosh, the guys are talking about the tone, right? This is why I don't like texting. I don't like texting because you cannot pick up someone's tone in the text. You can't do it. And I've done it so many times where I thought somebody said something and they meant something else. And they're like, why are you upset?
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, just call me, dude.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Trust says, if we can't converse, we can't traverse. UFO Kamikaze says, you can hear in a person's voice if something is wrong or not from a phone call. That's right. So much gets lost or hidden in text. Agree. And Tony says, yes, voice tone can tell you a lot about a person's intentions. Yep. All right, let's finish this one.
Live, and of course to Anton Daniels, who has built his platform to the size that he is getting looks from Fox News even. That said, we have to understand that the world that we want it to be, or the world that we were told it is not necessarily the world that we're living in. And many young men are trying to figure out their place in how to date in a world where idealistically, Anton Daniels is right. You want to have someone that's shooting in the gym with you, someone that doesn't want your money while you're building. They're going to build with you. The truth of the matter is, the young ladies in their 20s aren't even thinking about building. They're thinking about lifestyle, many of them. And that lifestyle comes through the interface of Instagram. And in order to get into the attention space of some of those young ladies, you have to do more than just show up with your quote unquote masculine presence. And then, of course, even if you find the lady, you start a relationship with her, maybe that relationship is, instead of going to dates in America and spending $150, $200 on a date, you're taking $100, $200 and paying her rent in Nairobi, Kenya. That said, however, even if you get in a relationship with that young lady, she may wake up one day and say, I'm not happy. And there is not a single married man in the West, that is including this country, that can control, quote unquote, his wife. That's not how it works. If she wakes up one day and she's unhappy, she wants to leave, she wants another guy, you're going to have to find a way to deal with that.
So another clash of the generations. I have a 13-hour car ride with my mother in September, and so I'm kind of used to it now. But the talking point, we're not meant to be alone. You need somebody. We're not meant to live alone. When that happens, I feel like, okay, you're talking to the wrong party here. Okay. So this last commentary you just gave, that really spoke to me as well, because when I go home, I'm confronted with these conversations over and over again. And there's a lack of understanding about what's happening in the world right now, I think.
Well, if you're in a world where
Go ahead.
If you're in a world where it's very easy to replace someone, then the idea of commitment changes, right? Do you ever have a Atari 2600, Doc?
Oh, our first, we had the Vectrex, and then we had the Sega Master System.
Well, so I just bring that up because I never got one when it came out, but what I did was, my mom bought it for me, is I went to a garage sale and got someone who wasn't playing theirs anymore. And it came with like 50 games, right? And we just got like for like $15, right? So what happens with the first inclination that this game is boring? You take the game out, you put another game in, you play it for 3 seconds, 15 seconds, whatever. And then game is boring. Oh, this game's not cool. You switch the game out. And if you get used to that, then commitment to you is 15 minutes. But that when that commitment breaks up, the guy's got to pay a price. You're going to have to pay a price. You can't see your kids every day. You're going to have to pay a certain amount of money. Your finances are going to get messed around. It's going to come at a price. So the idea that you're going to play the same game where people are taking out cartridges and putting in a new cartridge, no. That doesn't work that way. It's a different game.
Well, there's also the barrier to entry. Does your life look exciting from the outside? And then once you do pair up, is it still exciting, or is it still, or
that's right?
Is this boring now?
Or after a kid,
after the kid, or even paying bills and saving money? Is that boring? We're not living enough. We're just existing. That's one of my favorite. That's a modern vocabulary word.
Yeah,
right? Existing.
Nobody makes Instagram posts about how much money they're saving.
Yeah,
or how much they're not going out to fancy restaurants. It's the opposite, right?
Yep. All right, let's wrap this one up.
Childrenless, it might be having your children all the time, but one thing it will certainly mean is that she's going to go somewhere else, and probably with some of your money, or the family money, depending how you look at it, because she's not happy. She wants to do something else. And in that environment, if guys are thinking, well, I'm not trying to get married, or I just want to have a good time, showing up and displaying your masculine frame, it's not going to cut it when there's another guy that has found this 23-year-old hottie in Nairobi, Kenya, in Tokyo, Japan, in Africa, Latin America, wherever you're talking about. And he's saying, you know what? I'm going to come and see you 2-3 times a year, and I got your rent. But when I come to see you, I want to come and see you. She's like, okay. So what she's doing the other time of the year? There's other guys that are probably going to say, you know what? He's paying your rent. I'll pay your rent plus your utilities. That's not necessarily a right or wrong thing. That's just a new game. And if you're out here trying to date in this space, a young lady wants the money up front in lifestyle, or she wants it down the road in a relationship. Ladies just don't want to show up for 95% of us that aren't the non-resource men who just get it off the rip. Most of us have to show something. And in this world where we have to show something, we have to be honest to young men about the game that's out there. And the game that's out there is not about frame or showing yourself to be the most masculine presence of yourself. It's about young ladies that want a lifestyle and have bills that need to be paid. And guys that want to get in her attention space have to understand that the game plays differently now. And if you want a piece of that game, you have to kind of get with the flow, like it or not. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below, and catch you next video. Take care, guys.
Magnifique.
Stop. What's funny is that the way I make videos is I just see something that kind of triggers something in me that bothers me, or I just want to speak about, and I look around and it just kind of, I see stuff to throw into. It's like cooking, right? It's like going to your fridge and making, like, I don't know, scrapple or an omelet, and you're like, I got a little bit of this, a little bit of this. And I mean, when I hear Anton talk, it would have been great advice for like 1985. But in 2025, there's no, how many girls are shooting in the gym with you, Mike? They're not shooting in the gym with you now. They want the lifestyle. They want the lifestyle the minute that they meet you. 18, 22, 25, 27, 30, 35, they want lifestyle. And even the young ladies that can see past lifestyle, her friends are going to look at her and say, why are you paying for this man? He's a grown man. A woman is not supposed to pay for a man. And that idea hasn't really progressed very much. Men pay for women, even though women are oppressed, but women have DEI, et cetera, and I'm empowered, so men still pays. And guys aren't going to be in a position to do that until what, 32, 35-ish? And then when they get there, who do they want to date? Because like I said, that same age young lady, she was not in the gym shooting with him for sure. And not only that, but he can see all of the fun she had on social media in plain sight.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that next in terms of having a jumbotron. Shout out to Obsidian now, where everything is, you could just watch everything, and now it's being used as a confessional. I was watching a Diary of a CEO, a clip from his yesterday, and he had a lady on. You saw some of that? This was a white woman. She had a son, and they were talking about dating rules. And even she was saying, well, number one, if a man doesn't pay for the first date, it's a, that's it for him. But also she was making the argument that still nobody really knows what to do. What's legal today? What's kosher? I mean, I assume, the first outing out, I pay for that, but nobody really knows. Everything's been thrown up in the air. And
well, but the problem for the guy paying for the first date is more guys, I won't say, I don't know what percentage, more guys understand if that young lady wants to be with that man, she pays for him. They know it now. Like before, that was a mystery. Like it was a mystery that if a young lady wanted to get a picture with Chris Brown, maybe she paid, maybe she didn't. But now we know there are women that line up to give $1,000 to Chris Brown to take a picture with him. So you go on a date with her, she says, well, a man always pays. It's like, you paid money to a man, you paid a month's rent or half a month's rent to get a picture with a guy, and I'm supposed to be doing what? Like, just go be with Chris Brown. Like that genie's out the bottle now. So now how do you get that genie back in the bottle? I don't know how you do it.
Yeah. Well, Passport OG, there's another nuance to that. And I don't know what's going on today, but there used to be a time also where some women, if they were hanging out with you and they weren't interested in you, they wouldn't let you pay for them, because then that would be like some form of okay, I'm interested in you enough to let you pay for me. And if she didn't let you pay, you knew, okay, well, she's just here either platonically or she's just here passing the time. So there's a lot of nuance in that. Yeah. Okay.
But now there are no rules. So basically, you have young ladies bragging about the fact that they're duping guys in the and they're, I think we'll get to it on that back in the video, but I don't think that really young ladies really understand the kind of damage that's being done to the idea of the romantic notion of a woman being soft and dainty and worthy of being taken care of. Because once you take that away, and you're like, oh, well, you're just a little bit different than me, but I'm going to do me and you do you and whatever. Then you're basically just like classmates, right? And if you're classmates, then all right, well, if you want to be with me and you pay for Chris Brown, you pay for me. And I don't think we're quite there yet, but we're heading that direction. And that's going to be a bleep, a mind bleep for a lot of young ladies, that guys don't hold the door open. They don't pay for the first date. Nothing. Like, what happens when you get the average guy saying, should I be paying for anything? I don't think we talk about the evolution of or whatever, the social engineering, if you will. Women are not ready for that, man. They are not. On a wholesale, they're not ready. They're not. And in a 20-year period, it's very fast, very fast.
Okay. So shout out to Black Uberu for entering the chat. I think this is probably before Mr. Z goes live, because I know you'll be over there, the Church of Mr. Z. But for those watching this, for the uninitiated, well, from a science perspective, guys, this is number one. This is the technology influencing things, and also the reproductive mating aspect. All of this has been just kind of just blown up. So that's what we're talking about here. I mean, folks look at this and say, "Oh, they're just talking about not wanting to pay for dates and dinners," but everybody's talking about this now. Okay, that the whole mating dance has been blown up. One of the things, so this is your, we'll get through we'll watch your second video. Okay, this is the other thing, the loneliness epidemic. What we're seeing now is that social media has also become the Jumbotron. Shout out to Obsidian. And what's happening is I don't have time to watch TikTok. I don't have time to watch these crash outs on TikTok and Instagram and whatever else is out there. I don't know if men are crashing out like this.
No.
So it seems to be mostly the female side of the gender. For whatever reason, it seems to be a good idea to go to cyberspace and just broadcast this stuff.
That's right. That's right.
In front of everybody, so that
exactly right.
that suggests an unhealthy way of dealing with your frustrations, number one, but also, as you described, people will be able to go back and see this record at some point, even if you take it down, and even if someone clips it. Okay, this stuff is all up there, but this is. Go ahead.
And it also moves away from the idea of the woman being soft and dainty to this profanity laden tirade on how men are useless. Like, there's nothing romantic at all about that. Like, excuse me, you're hearing women essentially curse like sailors and say that men used to pass away in war, and it's like, I don't want to buy flowers or chocolates for her. What is this? That part of it is also there. And there's a growing number of young ladies that they are mimicking men and kind of, I don't want to say vomiting, expressing their emotions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, everybody, a second feature from Passport OG. This one is called No Male Loneliness Epidemic, How Instagram Destroyed Romance. This one in particular focuses on Instagram. Fair use. Hold on.
All that chasing, it don't work.
No,
if she want to be, look, if she wants to be with you, she'll be with you.
So two of New York's finest, Iron Mike Tyson and LL Cool J.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me, all that chase it, you're killing yourself, B. I promise you.
And listen,
I guarantee it.
We have to admit to ourselves that sometimes, no matter how hard we're running our race in life or how fast we're moving, life throws things at us that we're not ready for, and sometimes it trips us up.
Land of the free and the home of the what?
And is it Nalea?
Yeah.
Do you have children?
What?
Do you have children?
Do I have children? No.
You don't?
Mm-mm. They dead and gone.
Shout out to President Obama and Dwayne Wade. And that little kid, pole dancing, that little kid was running around.
He is pole dancing. That little boy is pole dancing.
Little boy. My goodness. All right.
Dead and gone. I have no kids.
No kids.
Mm-mm.
I mean, this
is the quickest way to clear out stuck poop.
The number one food.
Say it again.
Just the pace of things change. It's just amazing, man. Just amazing.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, what's gonna happen to that little boy? He's running around. He's swinging on that pole. Who thinks that's a good idea?
He needs his dad.
Yeah. All right. Fair use.
When historians look back on the impact of social media, it's going to be very difficult for them to truly understand how much it changed human behavior. As Gen Xers, we saw before and after, and it's night and day. We have seen humans basically become different behaving animals. And for many young ladies, the amount of attention they can get from saying certain things or revealing certain things on social media gives them a dopamine hit that is so strong that there's no one guy that can deal with it or mimic it, if you will. And that's the first shoe to drop. But the second shoe to drop, in my opinion, is the misdiagnosis of the effect of social media on men. Many people call it a male loneliness epidemic, or they say that there's a glut of INCELSs, if you will. But what guys understand is that sooner or later, all of these young ladies we're seeing on social media are going to get back to this point.
I genuinely need the universe to explain. I'm over here ready to be wifed, though. I'm ready to fall so in love. Like I'm ready to give someone serious babies. I'm 31 today, and no one is sitting across the table from me at dinner and holding my hand or telling me how beautiful I look or coming home and doing whatever it is that people do. It's unfair.
To be honest with you, I don't think there's anything wrong with a 31-year-old woman looking for the love of her life. But just like if you have a long gap in your resume or your hiring history, someone's going to ask you, what were you doing between 17, 18, and 31?
I was just thinking that when I was watching her say that. What was going on in your 20s? But a lot of young people weren't told that they should find someone in their 20s. But I mean that's the reality. The fact that she's there now asking that question, that's just the reality of what's happening today. So,
well, think about what that does to the imagination of a guy, right? Like,
yeah,
you had to propose to her and get down on one knee, and all of this is happening when she's 31. But you got to think about the guy that just walked into the bar, glanced at her, and then she ran off to the toilet with him for 3 minutes. Like, and that's your wife. Like, I don't think that is feminism or whoever you want to say, they're really being honest with women about how men feel about that. Like, why am I marrying a woman that was only worth this little bit of effort from a different guy? It's different if she had 3 solid boyfriends. But like in this new age now, she's just getting her freak on. And if it's the dude she's a roadie and she's going a certain whatever, and the dude wags the finger at her, like, you're gonna come behind her and say, "This is my wife," and when she was in her beauty prime, she was not really demanding that from anybody else. Like, that's a tough thing to come to grips with as a guy. It really is.
Yeah. Black Uru Strike says 30 plus, the epiphany, parentheses, help, I'm out of time stage. Yeah, and there were a lot of Sex in the City casualties, both men and women.
Living single. Girlfriends.
Late ladies who wanted to stay out and have fun, and there were guys who wanted to settle down. Okay. Fair use.
And if her resume, social media wise, is anything like what we're seeing from many of the young ladies, it's going to involve some male dislikes, men hating. It's going to involve some getting the bag. It's going to involve some of all the things that you're seeing on social media. And even some of the ladies are starting to understand why guys are losing interest in dating. it's just not very romantic.
I could not be a man dating in 2025. You said you only date men that pay all your bills.
Hey, why every time I turn around, you want to go somewhere? Can we sit and save some money? Like, I don't want to just keep spending. Every time I turn around, it's just like constant spending. I'm gonna kind of be constant saving, like, geez, like straight up. Always have to be spending money. It's just
money.
Oh,
I got just
so shout out to Sheed and Alonzo and Sal. That clip stood out to me because I'm financially minded. I'm responsible with my money. And actually, that's the smart thing to do, is to save and invest your money. But the mentality is to spend. And the way that little snippet was slanted was he was the wrong one for wanting to be responsible with his money.
That's right.
Yeah. This lady right here, what she's doing is pretty hilarious.
It is.
But thank you to her for presenting this point of view.
I go half what you on a rent to take you on a date.
And if he don't buy no Louis, he can't get no pooch. And if he don't get Dior, I can't be a whore.
You don't cook. Oh, you can't cook.
What does it actually mean when a man asks, can you cook? Here's a hint. It's not about the food. It's about the fantasy. As a divorce lawyer, I've heard this question come up more times than I can count. And let me tell you, it's rarely about your culinary skills. It's about whether you'll play the role that he's already written for you in his head. He's not looking for a partner. He's looking for a personal chef, a maid, a therapist, a secretary, and maybe if you're lucky, a woman he occasionally brags about. Cooking is just code. It's the litmus test for how quickly you'll fold into his lifestyle, not build one together.
You need 1,000.
Okay, that one was cringe. I mean, going back to grandmothers, what our grandmothers did. None of us would be here without that one skill or their willingness to execute that one skill.
I mean, you gotta cook, man. You gotta eat.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. All right, and just he wants you to fit into his. Yeah, that one was cringe. All right, let's keep going.
$. You need me to pay for your BBL.
And if he don't buy me Balenciaga, he can't be my mom. And if he don't take me to Chanel, I'ma give him hell.
Your homegirl said my chain fake. Your homegirl lived with her mama. What do you mean your car is on fire?
I got a question. Is it gay for a man to fall asleep in the front seat while his homeboy driving? Okay, I thought it was too. Thank you.
You pregnant.
Yo, I've never seen nothing like this. The woman is texting her guy.
Mm-hmm.
She's texting her sneaky link, right? Her husband's at home.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yo, stop playing with me. I'll come jump on that right now.
To a sneaky link.
To sneaky, like, yo, pull up. It's whatever. She's like, all right, I'm about to send you a cash app right now. $75. He's like, what's this for? She sent him a list of groceries. She said, I want you to go pick up these groceries.
Oh, you planning this a vacation? That's what's up. You need my credit card number.
Because I'm going to go tell my husband I'm going grocery shopping. So when I come to your crib, I already got the groceries. We got the 30 to 40 minutes it would have took me to pick up the groceries to knock this.
Oh, you know.
Oh,
yo, you know.
Fair women.
Son, yo.
That was so intelligent.
Yo,
yes. That was so intelligent.
Yo, a tear dropped from my eye, bro.
Yeah, she did that. She did her big one with that one.
You need $3,000.
Adulting while Black is realizing that Gina should have left Martin. I will not explain.
That's why I never watched Martin. I cannot tell you about one episode solidly. Like, I am Black, like I've seen the show. But even I did not need to be an adult to realize that Martin and Gina should have never been. And I wasn't going to subject myself to that.
Nah, baby.
Passport OG. So the point of that was what? Martin, what, he wasn't rich, or he was still trying to make it, or he wasn't
pretty much. She was too good for him, pretty much. She was an executive corporate worker, and he was a radio DJ that was beneath her station.
Okay. All right.
Baby, I like kids. I like it. 3 baby daddies.
African women, please learn how to call the police on your significant other, on your man here in America. Yeah, learn how to do that. It's okay to call the police. Like, you have to know when to call the police and when to stop playing. Because I know in our culture, calling the police in America is just such a taboo. Like, oh my God, is the last resort. It means
The nails. I don't. Yeah, I'm not a fan of those nails. So Passport OG, these are all on Instagram.
This is, I mean, goodness, man. Instagram. Look, there are times when before I start scrolling through Instagram, I'll say a quick little prayer because I don't want it to change just me. But that's Instagram, dude. Like, Instagram is a mess, man. Like,
yeah,
it should have been regulated.
So for those of you, I think everybody in the chat now, Black Guru, when you were in the late 80s, early 90s, you might not have watched MTV in the Real World, but a part of the original Real World series was the confessional, where people would go into the room and they would record what was going on and what conflicts they were having with the other members of the house. This has become Instagram, TikTok. Those are being used as confessionals now for everybody to hear what's okay. This African woman, I think she's Nigerian, she's encouraging others to start calling the police on their husbands or their significant others, which is an option that's available in the westernized countries. So she's asserting, you can do this now. Go ahead and do it.
That's right.
Looking at her nails, I imagine you're keeping an eye on Klay Thompson and Meg Thee Stallion. So I'll be looking to see, depending on how that goes, what you come up with that.
I mean, you see, oh my gosh. And they're trying to build this as like love. And it's like, I mean, everyone is not making $200, $300 million because they can shoot a basketball. Like, would she be dating a regular school teacher or engineer guy? No, she wants a baller. And you can look at his like mannerisms and tell, like, I mean, she's stepping on his nerves. She's trying him.
Yeah, he's got a real just a real stoic, unemotional disposition.
That's right.
So it'll be interesting to see. It's none of my business, but how long he'll be able to move or coexist with her.
Tolerate.
Yeah. All right, let's proceed to the conclusion.
it's like you're evil if you call the police. But no, African men know that African girls won't call the police here in America. Black girls are just now starting to call the police, but African girls we don't call the police. Yeah, no, that's it. I call. You want to play? You want someone to chase you? The police is gonna chase you. Yeah. Now go prove to them that I'm a liar.
What's the biggest thing you hate about women?
The biggest thing I hate about women is that, that one Billie Eilish quote, she said,
"You give an ugly guy a chance, he thinks he rules the world."
That's it right there. Okay. You look at that statement, you see how invalid that is. As a young man coming up, you see how they're just trying to put you down, okay? Now, if the roles were reversed, this would be a cancelable offense for us. Okay.
Calling little girls fast is society's cowardly way of protecting predators.
If you ask a man why he wants children, he'll tell you that he wants children to continue his legacy. But what legacy? Listen, lineage is not to be confused with legacy.
This one I thought was interesting because going back to reproductive biology and ecology, for humans, and shout out to Dr. Thunder, we're the only species on the planet who's dealing with this type of thing. I think women fundamentally see lineage and legacy differently than men do. I mean, she's kind of talking about finances here as well, and you need to be able to leave something, much the way Fred Trump left Donald Trump his empire or something equivalent. But she's kind of saying, okay, well, the lineage is whatever, but you need to leave dollars with that lineage. That's the most important thing. And a lot of boomers are saying, well, we want you guys to have a lineage. We want to continue things, but there's a divergence of how this whole thing is seen. Okay.
Well, I think the thing that used to be a bit cloudy that's become relatively clear now is that women in the past wanted stability and they felt a bit of obligation to the collective. Like, men can have babies, so I'm going to have a baby and I'm going to nestle with this guy and we're going to raise some kids because that's part of my duty. But I think that's been all stripped away. Like I think that young ladies don't have any duty to society. They can do exactly what they want to do, and they should seek out the guy that will give them the best lifestyle. And if you get that, maybe I'll do him a favor and have a child for him. But that aside, that's not what makes a guy work 18 hours a day to get a woman to like him. Like, it's not. I mean, you're basically telling the man that you can be bought. And is that, I don't think that women are really ready for guys to really see them in a transactional manner, because that's like, how do people treat waitresses? How do people treat cab drivers? Like, they're not, or flight attendants. Like, I paid you for this. This is your job to serve me. And I don't, the other side of that whole game, I mean, you change the environment and you're basically telling guys, you got to buy me. Okay, I'll buy you. And the other side of that is really ugly. And I just don't think that young ladies are ready for that. I really don't.
Mm-hmm. Well, things are evolving to some sort of climax or cataclysm right now. We're witnessing it. We're witnessing it in front of our eyes. Like Uru says, a lot of boomers, a lot of Black male boomers had their potential financial legacy stolen and squandered in divorce and child support and other related legal and tax issues. All right.
Lineage is when you just continue your line to birth kids. Legacy is when you actually have something in the family, be it money, property to pass on to your children, money, property, titles, connections, things that can put your children at an advantage in your demise. That is a legacy. Most men do not have legacies. Only a few men are rich enough to leave legacies for their children. What you want is to continue your lineage, but your lineage is so stupid and abusive. Why would I want to continue that? Huh? You rat.
All right. So the technology now, in addition to these ideas being on the internet, on the Jumbotron for everyone to see, and in some instances permanent, the technology is allowing this stuff to propagate. So this can spread to other young ladies to the detriment of humanity. So that's there's nothing to,
but also the other side of it, the other side of it that I think is really important is that mystique of the beautiful young lady that is pure and she saved herself for her husband. Like, each video like this removes doubt that even exists. I mean, or it creates doubt that woman exists anymore. This woman is essentially telling you, if you're not a millionaire, you don't even deserve to be with a woman. Get your money together and then come see me. And that is the antithesis of a young woman who's going to, quote unquote, shoot in the gym with you. Like, she's essentially telling you, I would never shoot in the gym with you. Like, you're not worth that. You're supposed to show up and give me money, and then I'll do you a favor and have a child with you. And that is a fundamental break from 25, 30 years ago. And that's a very short time to go from, I love you, let's build a family together, and all of that, to where the money at. Like, it's gonna be a very interesting adaptation.
Yeah, because it's what you're supposed to do. It's our culture, it's our custom, it's
That's right.
our
That's right.
that's part of your debt, your obligation to your family, to society. This is totally different. It's way more conditional.
Mm-hmm.
But Black Uber, were there in the chat. What did you think about this whole distinction between lineage and legacy? Lineage and legacy. This is my first time hearing them split like that. I thought that they were synonymous. Lineage versus legacy.
I think
That's how I
lineage is
know
more.
men do not know what they're saying when they talk about lineage, continuing legacy. You don't have a legacy. You are broke.
I'm going to have a conversation with Dr. Dunbar about this very topic of this video. I don't think that there is a male loneliness epidemic. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure there isn't one. I don't think there's an INCEL epidemic either. I think what has happened is that many young men, previous to at least my generation, before social media, we would have not known all of these things, the dark secrets, and there are many of young ladies about how they detest men that aren't rich yet, or how they want men that are a certain height or look a certain way, or they want princess treatment, and anything less than that is not worthy of their time or presence. And seeing that as a regular guy, there's nothing romantic about that. There's nothing that makes you want to go be rich so that you can buy her. That is not what motivates guys. You can motivate a guy with the physical for a very short amount of time, but it's that idealistic view of women that we have lost. We didn't have so much information on women, and now these days we have more information than we wanted. This is one reason why I think social media should have been regulated, because it's clear that many young ladies don't really have a filter when it comes to just saying, maybe I shouldn't post this. That desire to go viral or get the attention is so great that they can't resist it.
So guys, remember the dopamine hit, the dopamine circle, number one, and number two. If I could talk to the Obamas and Craig, I would ask them about this. I mean, they made some belittling comments about the manosphere and online content. I would say to Michelle and Barack, well, what do you think about that video? What do you think about that, Michelle? I would.
Or better yet, how many hours a day do your daughter spend on Instagram? And how much are they comparing the guys that are in their physical immediate vicinity to all of the potential guys that they can date on Instagram? I mean, start there.
Yeah. She'd probably tell me, you just need to have more empathy. You need to be better. Men, be better.
Good luck with that.
And now many young men have seen the other side of young ladies, and it's just not something that you're going to go chase. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just a new reality that many young ladies have made it clear. I want a guy who's going to give me a certain lifestyle, make me rich, buy me things. And until you can buy me things, I don't really want you in my space. And that's essentially telling a guy, give me your money. I don't care who you are. And I can't imagine what could be less romantic than that. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.
All right, everybody. That was another spectacular offering from Passport OG.
Oh, thank you. But look, you just stopped the video. Is there any way you could pull that video back up that you just stopped?
I sure can. She's not gone.
Look at her arm.
Oh, hold on.
Look at her arm. Like,
how
often did you? It's going. But how often did we see? Okay, but it was a woman with a swimsuit on. And first of all, she's just showing her goods off so that everyone can see her goods. But she also has a big tattoo sleeve on her arm. And like when I don't think it's very hard to dispute this, but when I see a young woman with like visible tattoos, I think that she has engaged in activities that she would not tell her mother about. And she's done it with several different people. And so the idea of going up to her and saying, I want to wife you and I want to make you the woman I spend the rest of my life with, even the people in your family are going to say, I mean, she does have the tattoo. I mean, what she's been doing. Like, sure, she's a wife. Like that feminine inspiration that the Black Guru is talking about. I mean, it's not really there. It's not really there.
Well, the you know, me and my brother's there in the chat. He's still listening. He says, I think many
Oh, that's true. Okay.
have made their behavior unattractive. We talk about tattoos, and then so the question is, I'm going to ask this in a rhetorical way. You know, what can you tell about someone from their tattoos? I'm going to leave that as an open-ended question for the viewers and the audience. But there are varying points of view on what you can tell about someone, a lady in particular, about what you could tell from tattoos.
I wouldn't say tattoos, because,
or is it where they
I
are?
think some young ladies will. I was some young ladies will have like a tattoo for whatever reason, but when she decides to have visible tattoos, that is a crossing of a threshold. I want my employer, I want my family, I want every person that sees me for the rest of my life to know that I decided to have this tattoo. Because you can have a tattoo in small of your back or something around your ankle, and you know, someone that's not intimate with you will never see it. But if you take that away and just say, look, this is me, then she's basically telling you, like, that's how she gets down. And I mean, I don't know. There's nothing. It's not the idea of a ladylike woman to have a bunch of tattoos. So I don't think you can change male biology in 20 years to get guys to say she's still a wife.
Okay, I'm gonna lead us to our conclusion by saying that everybody, again, this for the people watching this, is saying, why are they watching this stuff? Number one, Passport OG makes brilliant videos. Number one, but number two, it's a snapshot. It's a look. You know, Passport OG. Leading up to this, I was thinking, you're a bit of an anthropologist now. I don't know if you know that you put that hat on, but 20, 30 years from now, these videos are still up. These are snapshots.
That's what I think about
now. So you're a bit of an anthropologist. Jonathan Haidt's book, the focus of this book is on children, the younger people. In your brilliant content, you mentioned young women, but I think also the other thing this technology is showing us is there are older ladies, more senior ladies who are swinging on poles, got their bathing suits on. Look at my body, you know, I still look good. You see a lot of that as well. So grandmothers aren't the traditional grandmothers anymore. We have the rich aunties. We have the rich aunties. We have the so this isn't restricted. This thing we're seeing, this is not restricted to 30 and younger. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that I think the cutest look to me, and I think it's part of my childhood, is just if I see like a young lady, like a polo shirt or just what a kind of like short sleeve button up shirt, and like the long denim skirts with like the kind of cut in the back, and I don't know, whatever kind of shoes. It's a little bit showy, but it's very conservative, and it's like there's more to see if I choose to show it to you, and it leaves that something to be desired. Like that was over in like the 90s, like the mid 90s, early 90s. I think that's the last time I saw that in mass. And like now it's just like you're just advertising everything to everybody. And then you're going to tell some guy, oh, by the way, you're supposed to pay a premium for this. And I mean, if we're logical as guys, you're showing this to everybody. What? Just let me be the next guy that gets to partake of it for free or for not marriage. So I think that that desire to get all these likes and all this attention on social media has made many young ladies not consider what happens 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. And that's one thing I worry about with America's social culture, because as much as you have all these young ladies pointing fingers at guys saying you're INCEL and, you know, loneliness epidemic, these women are going to want to be wives. They're going to want some guy to come and scoop them up. And do you see that happening? Which guy's going to do it?
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good place to end on.
Mm-hmm.
Passport OG, are you a Leo?
I am.
Okay, well, Trust is a Leo, and Trust. So she just saluted you. Trust, everybody. My brother is also a Leo, so we have a lot of Leos here representing. All right. Trust says, fantastic stream, you two. Trust, thank you. Yeah, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the generous donation. We give Black Uru a wrench. Black Uru should have a wrench out of respect for the boomer generation.
Oh yeah, he's talking about Black Guru was talking about Lisa.
Oh, Lisa Turtle. Yeah.
She was. Oh my gosh, she was.
Oh yeah, she was bad.
Man.
And it's funny how she was like the one kind of paired up with Screech. I never knew why they did that.
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. Very good question.
All right, everybody, Passport OG. Passport OG, do you have anything else you want to say before I wind
No, I appreciate you for having me up, and I think we need to keep an eye on just the social part of what's happening right now, because I mean, to be honest with you, social media is almost it's not even almost, it is a member of people's family now. Like when people talk about family, like TikTok going down was almost like people losing a pet, right? And so how do people deal with social media as a family member? Like that, what, take that 10 years down the road, and you get fired from your job, or you break up from your girlfriend, you go on a tirade that stays on the internet forever. Like, what does that do to a generation of people? We're going to see it.
Yeah. Black Uru thanked me for the wrench. Black Uru, thank you for being in these spaces, and also as a Black boomer, lending your experiences and practical perspectives. Because like I said, I have a 13-hour car ride with my mother in 2 months, and all these things come up, and she's kind of on the opposite. She has the opposite perspective of what Black Uru and the master teacher have. She doesn't know any of this stuff is going on. So you have to have these conversations over and over and over again about what's about the what and the why. But I also wanted to point out, Passport OG, what I enjoy about your content, in addition to all the pop culture references, is that you I don't know if you think about this when you're doing this, but you tie all these things together. Okay, you're tying all these elements together.
I try to do that.
Well,
Doc, you got to remember, I come from the last generation of students that had to write essays in school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure. Oh, you're not. Are you professor? You're not a school professor now, are you?
The what?
Are you a professor like at a college?
No. I took my.
I know.
I'm a Fed.
Those kids' essays would drive you nuts today.
Yeah, I heard writing has gotten lost. Thinking has gotten lost.
But that's me. So I learned how to write essays. So I think about my English teachers and think of introduction and all that stuff, and then the conclusion, all that stuff, and have a tie-in. So
okay, and you managed to keep it 12 minutes, 11 minutes.
Yeah. That's my goal.
Yeah. Before I let you go, have you been keeping your eye on the Dr. Jeff St. James emergence?
Yeah. He had his first original broadcast from his channel.
I was watching
today.
That earlier.
Yeah. Well, okay. I will just say that I hope that he's legit, and I think every voice that comes out that's leaning more towards the middle is good, because when you have the boisterous voices that are going to get a lot of the views, that's okay, that's fine. But when you start getting the rational voices moving towards the center, then it's basically you're going to get to the point where politicians are going to basically have to go to their platforms and bargain with them. Like Whoopi can't sit on the edge of the view and say, "Oh, that manosphere, blah blah blah." You're going to have people that basically say, "I got to go talk to Dr. Tizon Johnson because I need these votes." And when that happens, you're going to have, hey guys, you realize that X number of times out of 100 men are losing their children, even though they're the better parent? Or why is this man losing his driver's license when he's paying child support? Like all of these things that are getting guys to say, hey, listen, you're telling us we're supposed to do A, B, and C in society. Why? Like, you guys got to give us something. And the more rational and the more moderate the voices get, the more they just, you can't ignore it. I mean, you can't. They're going to have to come talk to guys, and the conversations are going to change the trajectory of where America's going to go.
Yeah.
So
I think the strength of him thus far, again, we have to keep watching. It'll be harder to smear him and discredit him. I mean, for all the valuable points that, and people will argue this down, that the late Kevin Samuels espoused on his show, and I understand his show was divisive. A lot of people were angry. His death was celebrated. There were, okay, he's fruity. It's the way he says it. It's who does he think he is? I think it's going to be harder to discredit Jeff.
That's right.
Yeah.
And even if they do try, I mean, what's the antithesis? Is it Cynthia G or not Cynthia G? Or yeah, that's right. Or is it like a Kim Foster types, where like moderate people in the middle that were like, I don't know if I'm going to vote for the Democrats or Republicans. Are they going to more identify with a guy like him or someone like Kim Foster? I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. The answer is, I'm tired of using these pronouns. I'm tired of not knowing what a woman is. And you're arguing that we're going to do more of this. Like, I don't want to do any more of that. I want to go back to something that's somewhat functional and normal. And functional and normal sounds a lot closer to guys like, is it St. James?
Dr. Jeff St. James.
St. James, yeah. So I think that pull to the middle is going to get, I mean, man, I'm not going to talk about pronouns. It's just, oh my, it's so crazy, man. It's so much craziness, man. It's just like, when is it just going to just be a little bit normal? Like, I don't, that's why I just shake my head at the Democrats. Like, you guys are trying to make it so difficult. Just give people a safe place to stay, affordable education, like upward mobility, affordable housing, and stick to that. And you're going to have a chance. But they're talking about everything else except that. It's just nuts, man. But anyways, I don't want to rant. I'm done.
Last one. James also has a naturally soft tone to his voice, which neutralizes their ability to deflect by claiming he is being harsh and mean. Agreed. All right. Passport OG. Thank you. Everybody. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, hang on. We'll chat for a minute once I turn it off. Everybody, this is my book. Someone actually asked for it, so I'm going to sell one later on today. This is my book. It's a story about changed environments and what happens when you change the environments and when you change the players involved. It's a basketball story, but for my YouTube subs, I'm selling the hard copy for $25 and the paperback for $22. The Engineers of Western New York basketball story. If you want one, just use one of those methods in the ticker there. It costs a little bit more on Amazon. But if you guys want one, make sure you send me your mailing address as well. And I think that's it. Please like, share, and subscribe. And with that, yeah, everyone, this talk, it went multiple places, but you know, if you're thinking about what was being discussed and the levels of it, biology, reproductive biology, ecology, and technology and culture, how are all these things intermingling and marrying right now? And they're doing so in a very, very complex way, in ways that we don't understand in terms of what the end results are going to be, but these things are rolling around in the dryer together right now in ways that they weren't before. So with that, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you next time. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you the next time. And I know everyone there in the chat is subbed to you, but if you're not subbed, check out Passport OG. He delivers quality every day.
It has been a pleasure, sir.
All right. Bye-bye.